and this will be sent out sometime tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. That'll come via email, and attached to that recording will be a questionnaire, quick questionnaire, just looking for your feedback. We're hosting this month-long Career Quest. You've probably seen some emails about Career Quest, so just keep an eye out for that, whether it any programs that we have here at WGU that'll be presenting, any employers that are coming in that are actively looking to recruit, as well as just some career guidance, career topics that might help if you're actively searching for jobs or looking to switch careers. So definitely take a look at those different virtual opportunities that we're offering this month through the Career Quest. The chat is open, so if you do have questions, feel free to post those into the chat. We will have a designated Q&A at the end of the session where you are able to take yourself off mute and ask any questions that you might have. So whatever you're comfortable with, completely up to you. You can either post them into the chat or take yourself off mute at the end during that designated Q&A. And from here, what I will do is I'm going to pass it over to Jason, who will be presenting this evening.
Thank you very much, RJ, and welcome everyone. You're probably from all around the U.S. I'm sitting in Salt Lake City, Utah, and we're grateful that you're here to listen to a little bit of what we have to talk about, and that's going to be, what kind of future can we have with a cyber degree and a master's degree. So with me as a co-host is Jay Patel. He's our faculty manager that's over the Masters of Science of Cybersecurity and Information Assurance. I'm the lead academic program manager, which basically says I help make sure that the trains run on time and that we get all the right information to the right people. So, I'm really excited for the group here because you're considering what can I do in the future? What are my options? Is this a good fit for me? And right now, we'd like to share more information about our Masters of Science in Cybersecurity and Information Assurance. So this is a recently redeveloped program as of June this year. And we've had great success with people coming into it, enjoying what's being offered, and you're here to figure out, is this a good fit? Just to set expectations, we have the whole hour scheduled, but we're probably going to be 20-25 minutes on our part of the presentation, and then provide a longer Q&A to help answer some of those questions. And so with that, we'll start with this title slide, and I'm going to hand it over to Jay to talk a little bit about cybersecurity.
Hi, everybody. This is Jay Patel, and as Jason already introduced me, I am in Round Rock, Texas, and I've been working with the master's program for about 12 years at WGU. So I'm very excited to go over our program and our offering. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity. Jason, can we go to the next slide, or do I have control over that?
I've got it for you. So
excellent. So why cybersecurity? Well, we've seen the jobs. The job numbers are staggering. 663,000 jobs open. I pulled this from cyberseek.org. So if anybody's interested, and we'll cover that in our next slide, but 663,000 jobs available in the market. Right now, the industry itself is only 1.1 million in terms of the number of jobs. So over 50% of jobs are remaining open, new jobs that have been created in the industry. And as many of you probably see in the news, we just heard about the recent attack on MGM, and the need for cybersecurity. It's just going to continue to grow as we see in the industry, the changes to how there's threat actors and issues that come up with cyber. So I did want to, I wanted everybody to note these 3 certifications. And the reason why I'm noting these 3 certifications is because we'll cover a little bit about how WGU helps and aligns with each of these here. There are 97,000 jobs for IC with individuals that have IC squared CISSP. There are almost 50,000 jobs for ISACA CISM, and 86,000 jobs for individuals that have their CompTIA Security Plus. And the last one, please keep that in mind, because we'll talk about that probably sooner rather than later. So with that, we'll move to the next slide. I mentioned that I pulled this data from cyberseek.org. Regardless of where you are in the US, if you're interested in cybersecurity and you want to just take a look at what is offered in your state in terms of jobs that are available and what areas that those jobs fall into, you can go to cyberseek.org. And this is just a site, we're not affiliated with them. They just track the job market and they just display it in a nice graphical format. You can click on any state to go and get more details about the jobs that are open within each of the states. And then if you look at the top right side, you'll notice that the alignment to the NICE framework. So there is the NICE Cybersecurity Workforce Framework, and there's specific categories. And you'll see these categories: operate and maintain, securely provision, oversee and govern, collect and operate, and protect and defend, analyze and investigate. So, also kind of keep NICE framework in mind as we talk about our program here in just a bit. So Jason, we'll jump into the next slide. So you kind of seen the need and the job market. And so the question now is, I think, can we go one back here, Jason? Yeah, so if you fall into any of these categories, if you're starting out in you have a networking background, you're a security professional, currently you do any types of vulnerability analysis or penetration testing, or you're looking to get into that field, right? Including cybersecurity managers, directors, and CISO. And the reason why I bring that level of suite up is because in a lot of companies, sometimes individuals will move up in the job role as jobs become available, because they don't have that many talent pool to pull from, right? But they want to come back and in fact get their degree or go further in depth into the technical space. And that's where our program comes in and helps these candidates to kind of move up in the field or get into, with the bachelor's, get into the field. We also allow and have STEM students with various degrees who can also come into our program. So we'll jump into the next slide. Oh, I think we go one after this. I just covered this, so sorry about that. Duplicate slide here. And I think, Jason, did you want to cover the program synopsis?
Sure, I'll go ahead and do that. And so, like I mentioned earlier today, our program was recently redeveloped, and what we did is we went out and we met with industry experts. We went out and looked at cyberseek.org and sought a lot of feedback from alumni and from various career professionals, and we remade our program. And so we wanted to highlight that we wanted to align with the most recent Department of Homeland Security and NSA guidelines. Recently, last year, the WGU received a designation as a National Center of Academic Excellence in Cyber Defense, and that's valid through 2026. We did that with our BSCSIA, which is our bachelor's degree program, but the designation is for the entire college, that we've met the level that the NSA is looking for quality programs. And then just to add in, this was an amazing job by our instructional designers, but aligning to our NICE framework, the NSA Center of Academic Excellence guidelines, and then also the CISSP, Common Body of Knowledge. And so as we're looking through this, we're trying to take the best standards that are in the industry, the recent guidance from the White House. Cybersecurity is evergreen, and putting it into our program and into our courses, and keeping a really good thumb on what's going on in the industry. So like Jay mentioned, this CISSP right here at the bottom, a few slides ago, we showed these job openings where people with CISSPs, there's about 100,000 of those jobs available. And so while this program doesn't give you the CISSP proper, it aligns to all the standards and well positions you to prepare for that certification.
So Jason, can I just add that?
Please do.
Absolutely. So again, the program itself is aligned to both the NICE framework and the CISSP pillars, right? So once we have a lot of students who will go through our program, And once they go through our program, they will, because CISSP also requires experience, meaning, work in the industry. That's the reason why we don't offer the actual certification itself. But what we do is we have that body of knowledge consistent in our program. So as our students go through the program, they will learn that body of knowledge and will be able to apply it when they're ready to take the CISSP. So again, we get a lot of alumni emails that say, the program that they took really helped them earn their CISSP, and now they're CISSP certified. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Jay. So just as a quick review of the WGU competency model, if you've been a student here before or you're an alumnus, this is something you're very familiar with. But we've been allowed to make sure that you can learn on your pace and your time so that you can show that you're competent, right? And so there's a minimum recommended pace that you go through the program. However, if you know something prior where there is no requirement that you go through 3 months of coursework sitting in a room or talking about it, but coming together, and you can test out of your program. You can pass the courses, and so you can start your course, you go through the different coursework, and then what's most important is the assessment. And so the main takeaway here is that if you have been to WGU before, the courses are going to feel very similar in format, right? And everything hangs on that summative assessment at the very end, but you're preparing with the help of your program mentor and your faculty mentors to do those real live skill aligned performances to demonstrate your mastery. So just diving into the program just a little bit, here are the courses that are available. And you can check this out on the program guide that's on the MSCSIA program page. You can read more into depth about what those competencies are in each of these programs or each of these courses. But we basically start out baselining our security foundations and move into secure network design. And secure network design is really important for the rest of the program because it's foundational. It's how people are getting in, right? And so that's one of the major core foundational courses. And then if you look at security operations and penetration testing, this is where we move into kind of blue team, red team, and both protecting and defending, and then looking for vulnerabilities in different areas, either in the organization. Our courses have virtual labs where you'll be able to participate in a cyber range, and you'll be able to put those skills to the test on real hands-on exercises. We also have included in this new redevelopment cloud security, so that as everything is moving toward the cloud, it's becoming more and more important to secure those environments and those different networks. And so that's one of the newer parts of this program. And then if you've heard of GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, this is the arm of the policy, the writing, the aspects of what should be protected and how to comply with the various laws, both national and internationally. Finally, there's the secure software design, which would be part of your SDLC, your software development lifecycle, and what you can do to move everything a little bit left and build software in a secure manner. And then we move kind of the cybersecurity architecture and engineering, the whole systems thinking course from a technical aspect. And then the cybersecurity management course is going to be from a leadership aspect and a team aspect, how you're going to move into operations. And no graduate degree would be complete without a graduate capstone. And so that's going to be your own research and putting forward information that you have for your ideas, and working with an instructor to build that out. And so this is in brief where the program is going. There's 34 competency units in the program. It's scheduled over 4 different terms, which are 6 months each, and so planned for taking 2 years. And I just put my hand on the computer and it just leaped forward. And so, we're really excited about these courses. We'll go into depth because these are aligned with industry certifications, and these are those certifications. So we have the CompTIA Cybersecurity. Oh man, I'm missing the A on that. Cybersecurity system. It's the CYSA plus. Man, I've worked so much on the acronyms that now I've forgotten what the full name of that. But this is an advanced CompTIA certification, and then you also build into the penetration tester CompTIA Pen Test Plus. And then aligned to two other courses, we're going to have both the CASP, the CompTIA Advanced Security Practitioner, and that's the one over on the right on the very bottom, and that's where your architecture comes in. And then we have the ISACA Certified Information Security Manager, and these are both optional vouchers. And so within our courses, for these two particular courses, you would do work with us, and then we would provide you an opportunity to go out and take that certification exam, and that would be included into the tuition and fees that we have. And then finally, as a part of the baselining course, taking the certified in cybersecurity for those to make sure that we have that foundation, we've included that one into the program.
So Jason, I just wanted to add here that one of the key things is learning directly from the vendor provided materials. So we have actually partnered, and we are a big partner with CompTIA, and they provide us their materials, so CertMaster. So we're learning directly from their materials for the cybersecurity analyst certification and the pen test plus. So our students actually get all of the information directly from the vendor, and so we say vendor, but CompTIA, they're a testing body, they're an accrediting body, I should say. But what they are is vendor agnostic, meaning that you're not just going to learn just Cisco, or you're not just going to learn Microsoft. You're going to be able to learn multifaceted approach to cybersecurity and pen testing. Plus the cost of those. Yeah, sorry, Jason. I was just going to add, just the cost of those going on your own. I believe the vouchers themselves are like $300 something. So I don't know if you wanted to speak a little bit to that, Jason, or if you wanted me to speak a little bit to that.
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, sure. So as part of the tuition cost, one of the things that we offer is that the first two vouchers for the required courses, right? So when we're talking, excuse me, when we're talking about this, what we're talking about is the CompTIA CYSA Plus and the CompTIA Pen Test Plus. The first two vouchers are part of the tuition fees, right? Now, if the student is not successful in 2 attempts, then there would be a cost that the student would have to put forward to purchase a voucher. We typically get discounted vouchers, but just the voucher cost alone is, I believe, in the mid 300s, if not upper 300s, and we offer 2 of them. Really, one of the things, I know Jason covered this in a previous slide, one of the benefits of our model is that you can learn through the materials, but you have instructors who are available, and they are available evenings and weekends, right? So there's different team members that will work during evenings and weekends to ensure that there is continuous support for our students, so that when they have questions as they're going through the material and they want to understand a very complex learning part as they're going through their learning, our instructors can help break those learnings down and help the student overcome any of those learning objectives. So that's what we're here for. And after the first attempt, our instructors will review the exam score sheet from CompTIA, work with the student to build a study plan so that they can be successful in the second attempt. Our goal is to work with our students so that we can keep the cost as minimal as possible and have the student be successful in those first 2 attempts, so that there is not an additional fee or additional cost to get certified. Again, we can't really talk about our first attempt success rate because CompTIA does not share those statistics, but I can share this, that WGU does a very good job in preparing our students to be successful with these assessments. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah, and the great thing about that is while you're working through your MSCSIA, you'll have earned a certification along the way, something you can immediately put on your resume. And those come early in the program and then are spread throughout. And one more piece about the certifications, and if you're a former alumni, former BSCSIA students, hopefully there's a few on the call, can transfer in some of their courses so that you can transfer up to 10 CU. So we have about 10 courses, or we do have 10 courses in the MSCSIA, and that when you bring in certain certifications that we've offered into the in the bachelor's degree, you can transfer in those courses and have a more accelerated pathway to graduation. And so the three main sets of certifications are right here in those middle bullets. But if, as you're doing here, we wanted to build a transfer pathway to help you become more technical and also move into the management aspect of cybersecurity. So just a couple more things on our admissions requirements. The requirements to come into our master's program, this is found directly on our page, is to possess a bachelor's degree in a STEM field, or a business degree, or a degree with a quantitative focus. And so, you know, that would be come on in. The second part is if you're not quite into the quantitative focus or the STEM field, if you have a bachelor's degree and then 2 years of work experience or current IT certifications of some type, we can definitely look into that, talk with an enrollment counselor, and we can relate to tell you what can happen to come in. And so we have monthly enrollment periods. So the next start, we close it off at about the 15th of the month, and so the next start is going to be in November, and so it's rolling every month. So maybe, you know, this month isn't good, but the next month is. And then there's no need for a GRE or GMAT to be taken to get into this program. And so we believe in making education accessible to many students, and we keep working to, you know, build those pathways so that we can help you wherever you're at. A final note on the tuition is just under $5,000 a term. Terms are 6 months at a time. And so like I've said previously, if you accelerate into your coursework, we've had students who have graduated earlier than 2 years. Most do that. And you know, we work with you on what your pace is, and also keeping a minimum pace, because it is a lot of work to come into here. And so this next slide, Jay, if you wouldn't mind taking, is going to be a little bit about that experience.
Absolutely. I had already come off mute, Jason. I figured
Ready.
I'd talk a little bit. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the journey, right? So once you've made the decision to start WGU and come to the master's program, one of the things we offer is not just with our enrollment counselors who will go over some of the programs and some of the information, but then you get assigned a mentor, and that mentor will help you chart out. So it depends on how many courses were transferred. They will help you plan out your terms, the timeline, work with you to understand your background, so that they can help kind of shape the terms that you'll set. So when you get started, now we do follow a standard path, and what I mean by that is we have a scaffolding in our learning, and so that specific scaffolding is still going to be relevant, and the mentors will help kind of guide and set up the terms for our students, right? And as you have questions and for different departments, or whether it be financial aid related questions or anything like that, your mentor can help guide you. And so once your journey is planned out, one of the things that we absolutely work with the students is and talk to the students about is make sure you set up your time commitment. I think that sometimes we say, hey, it's online, and because you can go at your own pace, sometimes students say, look, today I can't, I've got a lot of things going on, and then that turns into from 1 day to 3 months to 6 months, and then there's not enough time to complete. The flip side of that is we actually want our students to accelerate, be done with their program sooner, and save and pocket that money, right? The way we can help you do that is to make sure and set up some times that are committed specifically for your learning, for education. As Jason mentioned, one of the things you're going to have is there's going to be areas that you're like, hey, I do this in my job role every day. This is very easy for me. So, that aspect, I'm going to just kind of browse through and just make sure I have some of the details I need. And then the areas that I'm not familiar with, that's where I'm going to spend the time learning. And then you jump right into the assessment, whether it's a objective exam where you take multiple choice exam, or you go to and take a third party certification exam, which is typically also a multiple choice exam for the most part, or scenario based for some of the third party assessments, and or performance assessments. This is where we give you real world scenarios, and the student then responds to those scenarios based on the learning. So all of those will take your time, and so we want to make sure that the time commitment, you've got your calendar set up. We help you maintain that learning, and that will come in with something that I'm very passionate about, with the mentor and instructor support, right? One of the things we're very proud of is the comprehensive support, the community of care that we offer to all of our students. You have a mentor who will work with you throughout your academic career with WGU. They will be your mentor from start to finish. You get instructors. Those instructors are assigned to you from a course by course basis. So when you get assigned that instructor, one of the things I strongly encourage and recommend for any student is to reach out to that instructor and say, hey, here's what I know, or here's my background. How can I be successful with this course? And here's the timeline I'm thinking of completing this course. And what will happen is that instructor will review that, work with you. You could set up a call or just call them, and work with those instructors in any of those learning facets that I mentioned earlier. If there's any difficult aspects that you're having trouble learning as you go through the learning resources, you can reach out to the instructor and say, hey, I need a little more guidance on this. I don't understand these concepts. And that's where our support comes in. This, and I'll say this, our former president of the university used to say this all the time: our mentors and instructors are the secret sauce at WGU. We really help our students um, with their learning process, and we're here and available to help. Um, Jason already stole the thunder here. It is absolutely surprisingly affordable. And especially as I mentioned, one of the things we strive to do is help our students accelerate. When we say it's at your own pace, what we're really saying is, look, we don't want you just to complete, your 8 CUs every 6 months. We want you to accelerate. We want you to, we want you to soar in this program, and we can absolutely help with that. So that's pretty much the keys and steps to success with WGU. So I think, Jason, you have.
Yep, at this point, for more information about MSCSIA, you can go into and read the program guide. You can look at the competency statements. It's this wgu.edu MSCSIA. And so I imagine if you found your way to into this webinar, that you'll be able to find it on our website, but you can review a lot of the same information that we've had here. And this is kind of the key place to apply, and also to get more specific information about what we've just shared. And then also, as we conclude, we have a question slide. So I'm Jason. You've also heard from Jay. You can contact one of us, and we can help you get the information that you need beyond what's going on in this slide. So I think with that, RJ, we're at 31 minutes. Hopefully I stay true to my 25 to 30, just 1 minute over. Always, that perfectionism in me just keeps raging. But have you been able to view any question and answers or chats that have come in?
No questions right now. So I just want to remind people, if you do want to ask a question, feel free to post it into the chat, or you can take yourself off mute and ask a question as well. You now have that capability to do that. So feel free, if you do have any questions, post them into the chat or take yourself off mute.
Yeah, hi. I have a question. I'm in the BS program at WGO for cybersecurity, And I noticed some of the certifications that are a part of the MS program are part of the Bachelor of Science program. So if I go immediately into the MS program, do I get credit for those classes immediately if they're overlapping?
Yes, as part of the admissions process, those ones will be just, check the box. Yes, you have those, and then that will mean that you would have an accelerated pathway in the master's degree program with about 7 courses remaining.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Rob.
I am totally on mute as I'm talking right after you finish, Jason. I was just going to add, Rob, thank you for that question. So Jason did cover that in one of the slides. The way that this works is very simple. Just like when you enrolled for WGU for your undergrad program, there may have been a transcript evaluation if you had any previous college work. The nice thing about this is because you're going through WGU with this program, it'll happen automatically where those courses, because we'll be able to see your transcript from your undergrad for the master's program, it will get applied and you will get credit for those 3 courses. And then, as Jason mentioned, there'll be 7 courses remaining for your graduate degree.
Thank you.
And just best success to you, Rob. Thank you. If you're here and you're considering, I'm taking that as a compliment. So good luck on finishing out your program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So we did have a question come into the chat from Jane. What is the timing we should plan if we are presently in the BSCIA student? Wait until after we graduate or begin the application process in their final term?
Yeah, this is a great question. So there is within your student portal, there is a way to do the continuing admit aspect so that you can go ahead and apply in your last term. Because of financial aid requirements, you can't have an overlapping undergraduate term with a graduate term. And so, well, as soon as you're done, then you have to wait until the first start of the next month, right? And so lots of people end in the middle of the month. Some people end at the end of the month, but that timing can be somewhat variable. And so just making sure I read the question, you can go ahead and apply during your final term or after. So thank you, Jane.
Jason,
Also,
don't we have
a student. Best success to you. Sorry, Jay.
Oh yeah, no, I was just going to say, Jason, don't we have a banner now as students are getting close to finishing their bachelor's? I think that banner comes up right in the students portal, right? If they're interested in the master's program.
I believe so. It's been a long time since I've looked at that piece though, so that's one for homework that I need to do.
Sure. Well, be on the lookout for that. I think, Jane, you will see that on your portal itself where you can move through it. But one of the requirements, as Jason mentioned, very critical, you cannot have overlapping start due to financial aid. And so, you must complete your bachelor's degree before you can start your master's degree. But we start on a monthly basis, so definitely not a long wait.
I have a private message, and so I'm just going to read what the question is that there's a student in another master's program, and can they transfer? So the answer to that is yes, and the best route to do that is to work with your program mentor, if you're there currently. There's no, I'm just going to check myself for a second. With other master's degrees across the university, there isn't any overlap in the courses. And so depending on what your bachelor's degree was, there might be a way to transfer information, but that would all be done in the admissions process. But for current students, you can transfer in, the best route is through your program mentor. All right, I'm not seeing another question, but that's okay because there's lots to be thinking about. I'm sure there's lots to improve as well. So,
well, I'll share this, Jason. I'm just excited to see, the some of our BSCSI students already kind of tracking the master's program and coming to this session. I think it's very important. One of the things, and in fact, we talked about this earlier today, is that as the knowledge is fresh, right, as you've gone through the undergrad program, sometimes it's great to just continue, and you're used to the time commitment. Sometimes it's great to be able to move from the undergrad and move directly into the grad program, because you know the knowledge is fresh. You already had some of that time dedicated, and you know the double bonus on that is, of course, if you were in the BSCI program, or it, pretty much, I think almost any of our, well, I'll kind of, I think some of the program requirements have changed in some of the undergrad, but if you were in, I'll say majority of our undergrad programs, at the very least, one of the courses will transfer, because if you have completed that CompTIA Network Plus and Security Plus, you skip at least one of the courses on the master's side.
I have a question if you can hear me.
Yes.
So is the master's program an all-encompassing kind of program? I'm coming from the software development degree program, and I'm interested in cybersecurity from that aspect, designing software that is more secure. So will I have missed out on anything if I didn't go through the bachelor's program for cybersecurity? Or is the master's, like I said, all encompassing, and I'll be able to just pick up and complete the coursework?
Sure. So that, that's a fantastic question. In fact, and I have to give kudos to Jason here, who's worked really hard in ensuring that our new program, it actually is all encompassing. One of the things we did is, as Jason talked about, from an enrollment standpoint, we have individuals coming from various backgrounds, as long as they're in the STEM field, right? So the first course itself, the Introduction to Cybersecurity, the Security Foundations course, what it does is it actually lays the background and the networking aspect, the information that you will need to know in order to continue your journey on the cybersecurity side. So it does, we've scaffolded the learning really well to not only allow for individuals who come from either, other software degree programs, but even for our students who may come and say, listen, I did my engineering degree, or I, majored in mathematics. So any of those STEM fields, right? We've designed the program, as long as we had that STEM field background, we've designed the program to help those students come into the cybersecurity field. And that's why you're also seeing some of the overlap, right? Because, you may say, well, wait a minute, if these three courses transfer from the BSCSIA and they're on the undergrad, why are they on the master side? And it's all because we want to scaffold this program so it can stand on its own.
Jay, that was great for the explanation. And I'll just say that, just noticing we do have the secure software design course within the master's degree, so that would align with that particular ask. And then to what Jay said, we're trying to open the doors and also make sure it's fair to those within cybersecurity, that we all can gain competency and improve our career aspects.
One question did come in, and I just want to make sure to address it, answered it in the chat, but this session was recorded, so if you jumped in late and missed the start of the presentation, you'll get that recording sometime tomorrow morning, so just keep an eye out for that email. So just kind of a heads up to everybody that did jump in late, this session was recorded. You will get this via email.
Thank you, RJ.
Anyone else have any questions?
Well, while we wait for this question, I'm just gonna, thank those that are here that are coming from our BSCSIA programs and various interests in there. Just best successes to you as you work through the program. We're trying to improve our programs when you put feedback tickets in and fill out end of course or end of term surveys. we really do look at those, and you know, we have a very large program, and so we have to work to incorporate a lot of those feedback across the program. But you know, we just wish you best success, and you know, great for consideration on this new program, your MSCSIA. And I'm not seeing anything else, RJ. So maybe we'll wait another 7 seconds since I was
Well,
talking. If someone wanted to come off.
And as we do that, I do want to just thank both Jason and Jay for jumping on today to give this presentation. I know it's especially for our College of IT programs. I hear from employers all the time how much they enjoy our students and alumni, especially with the education that they're going through and how industry aligned it is, and how much they really appreciate that. So thank you both for jumping on today and sharing about the program. I know a lot of people are excited for it, so very much looking forward to them going through it and then hitting the ground running once they jump into the industry.
Thanks,
All right.
Bernard, and always appreciate being part of the conversation. So thank you for having us, RJ.
Awesome. So what I'll do now is I'm going to stop the recording. And again, thank you, Jason and Jay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening for a great presentation. Like I said, this recording will be sent out tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that recording. And hopefully everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday evening. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.